from Spirea Herbs, and I am outside on a very hot day, and I'm going to harvest some salvia. So this is garden sage, Salvia officinalis, and it's pretty easy to grow. I have it in my herb spiral, and we haven't even had to water the spiral much this year, and it's doing really well. Anywho, this is a fantastic antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. It's probably one of the best anticatarrhals that we have. So think runny nose, sinus infections, colds. It's also an expectorant, so it's good for coughs as well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna infuse some of this in honey and make it into a syrup for my family. And I'm gonna show you how to do that. So this is, there's lots of different kinds of sage that you can get at nurseries and grocery stores and such, but this is just garden sage, Salvia officinalis. And I'm going to make about 500 milliliters, so I'm going to want to take, I think it's 87 grams, roughly, to make my syrup. And I'll give you more detailed information in the blog post. So I'm going to harvest this, I'm going to get out of the sun and maybe harvest it a bit later. And then I'll meet you back in my kitchen where I'll show you how to make the syrup. We are back in my kitchen, and I have harvested my garden sage. Again, that's Salvia officinalis from my garden. And originally I was going to use the same ratios that I use when I make tinctures. So when I make tinctures, if I'm doing a 500 milliliter jar, I will use 87 grams of fresh herbs. But after looking up some sage honey recipes, it seems that there's a common theme of filling your jar about halfway with fresh herbs. So for my first time making this, that's what I'm going to try, and what I will suggest to you as well is it's always good to follow a recipe that people have had success with, and then you can always change it. And so that'll actually make this a little bit milder, because I think that halfway will be less than 87 grams. So I'm just going to use my knife, and I'm going to roughly chop this, and I might have harvested too much, so I'll just show you for making one jar. Now, if you wanted to do this with dried sage, I would recommend filling the jar about quarter of the way full. So whenever I'm doing any kind of syrups, fresh herbs I always use about halfway full, dried herbs a quarter. So it's a good rule of thumb to basically half the quantities if you're using dried herbs. Yeah, sage does. My husband's just commenting that the sage smells really, really nice. So again, sage is one of those remedies that you're going to go for when you have that kind of drippy sinus cold. Where you've got postnasal drip, it's hitting the back of your throat and you're coughing because of that. This would be an excellent remedy for a situation like that. It's a really powerful anticatarrhal, which means it's going to help dry out the sinuses when everything's really, really runny. So because of that, there are some contraindications with sage. One of them that I'll mention in the video, and please click onto the blog for more information on the herb itself and all of dosing protocols and everything. But the one major contraindication is for nursing mothers, because it's so powerful that it will actually dry up their milk. So you definitely don't want to use it for this. And honestly, young children too, I don't know if it's, it wouldn't be the best remedy. I would use elderberry syrup for that. So this is more for sinus infections for older children and adults. So I've roughly chopped up my herbs here. And I'm going to fill the jar about, as I mentioned, about halfway. And yeah, I harvested too much. So that's about halfway there. And then I'm going to fill the jar with honey. And ideally you'll be using local raw honey if you have access to it. Just make sure that whatever, your remedies are only as good as your ingredients. So you can see what I'll be doing here. It will take a while if I do it this way, so I might actually try pouring it from the jar, or the jug itself. Yeah, that's much better. And you want to fill about, well, you want to fill it basically all the way to the top. There we are. That's pretty close. I'm making a giant mess. What's not featured in the video after is the cleanup. Alright, so that's pretty close to full. I'm going to let the honey kind of drizzle its way down through the sage, and then I'll top up after. And then what I'll do is I'll seal with a lid, and with honeys I don't feel the need to use a piece of wax paper, but if we were, say, making an oxymel with this, which you could do, you would just be doing apple cider vinegar and honey combined, then you would want a sheet of wax paper in between the metal and the remedy. But for the honeys, just a regular mason jar lid will do. You can see that the honey's slowly making its way down, and once that happens, I'll top it up, label it and date it, and then once I strain my herbs out, I'll let it sit for I would say at least a month, probably up to 3 months. Cold and flu season will be around then, and then I'll strain out the herbs and put it in the fridge. It will keep for about a year. And I will have more information, including dosage and the exact symptoms that you want to use this to treat for, and that will all be available on my blog, which will be accompanying this video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.